Hey everyone, it's Anna here at Dees, and the Christmas season is winding down, so it's the perfect time to think about what you're going to put up after you're going to take down your Christmas wreath. And so today we're doing the first winter wreath of the season, and it is gorgeous. You guys are going to love it. So I'm going to create it for you, show you how to make it, and then of course you can go to shopdeeslouisville.com, grab the kit. The kit's going to be all the stems and the ribbon, or you can also purchase it with the wreath base if you need it as well. But if you have one of these at home, I'm just using our medium-sized grapevine wreath. It's 18 inches across. It's the perfect size for any standard front door. And the things I'm adding to it today are gorgeous. So we're doing a blueberry wreath. The reason I love this is, you know how much I love a mixed pick that's got a lot going on, but how beautiful are those blueberries? You've got a couple different sizes of blueberries. You've got eucalyptus, cedar, a pine cone, and it's just perfect for winter. You can use it through March, leave it up, and then when you take down all that Christmas decorations, you don't have to be so depressed that it's blank looking. You'll have a beautiful wreath to put up there. So we're gonna do 2 of those. We're gonna add those in and then add some beautiful ribbons. So what I'm gonna start out by doing is fluffing out one of these tall stems. So I'm just going to kind of fluff it all, open it up a little bit. It's a nice, beautiful, airy stem. I'm going to cut it where I usually cut it, cut the majority of that stem off, but not too short so that it doesn't fall apart. And this one, I'm just going to add in one giant chunk. So for this wreath, after I've fluffed it, it's much more open. I'm going to do this kind of going up this left side and kind of over the top. So I'm going to add a little glue to the bottom of this. What's so nice about these mixed stems, and I'm putting this in about 7 o'clock on this wreath. What's so nice about these mixed stems too is it's got so much going on that you don't need to buy a stem of eucalyptus and a stem of cedar and some pine cones. You just get one stem that's got it all on there. So I'm just going to kind of bend this. It's all wired so you can move it where you want. Let's see, I'm going to kind of push that back that direction. How pretty is that? Okay, next I'm going to add the second one. Same kind of thing. I'm going to cut the tag off, cut the stem off, open it up a little bit. This one I am going to cut in half and use in 2 pieces. So when you see, when I start fluffing it, there's a very obvious divide where this one stem in the middle that's extra tall is just easy to chop away from the other ones. So now I've got one piece that's a little fuller, and I've got this little airy piece left. So what I'm going to do is fluff out the bigger chunk first. And that one, I'm going to kind of go going down. So these pine cones are almost going to meet here right at the 7 o'clock where I glued that one. And that's where I'm going to add my bow. So I do want to leave a little bit of a gap, but I kind of want to curve this up this way. So then the more the wreath gets filled in. So I'm just going to dunk that in hot glue as well. Push it into my grapevine. And then I can move it around wherever I want. Next, I'm going to add my ribbon. So I'm holding on to this little piece of the second stem I have. And then I also have a few little lighter blueberries I'm going to add in as a touch that really complement the ribbon. So I'm going to do the bow next and then add these in last. So first up, we have this gorgeous 2.5 inch, it's kind of like a dusty kind of cornflower blue buffalo check, and it just looks so pretty for winter. It's going to show up well from your door and just kind of give you this really nice pop of blue. So I'm going to use that, and I'm going to pair it with this navy stripe that really ties in those bigger navy blueberries. So first up, I'm going to make 3 loops of this one in my hand. The loops don't need to be too big. I'm making them about 4 or 5 inches, and I'm just going to hold that. I'm going to make one. You know what? I'm going to make 2 loops of the wider one. I'm going to do 3 of the smaller one. I think that'll look a little bit better. So I've got my 2 loops. I'm going to leave the tail a little bit longer. Now I'm going to take that smaller navy blue right on top. I'm going to go on and make 3 loops of this one because it is a little bit thinner. It's only 1.5 inches wide. So I've got 2 loops just like the first ribbon, the check, and then the last loop I'm going to make kind of right in the middle there. Just a nice pretty bow. Leave that tail a little longer too. Take your cloth covered wire and just tie that in a knot right where your hand is holding it. And now you're ready to tie it on. So I'm going to go right there in that gap where I said I was going to go between those 2 pine cones. Twist it on there. I tied it in a knot and then twisted it a little bit. Now I'm ready to move it around. Oh my gosh, that ribbon is so pretty. I just love, blue is so popular right now, but just the multiple shades of blue and just this time of the year, leave it up, you know, all the way through. If you don't want to put out a Valentine's Day wreath, how pretty is this just to leave when it's snowing or it's still cold out? So I've just fluffed that ribbon around. I'm going to cut those tails. Maybe let this one kind of live over here. Here's that other blue tail that's kind of going up. I'm going to bring that to the middle of the wreath. Here's this one up here. And then this blue plaid, I'm going to let kind of hang down so it will really kind of go down the front door a little bit. So pretty. Okay, now I'm ready to fill in with my blueberries and that other chunk of stem. So as you can see, that stem that I put on first was really nice and airy. And so I'm going to use the last bit of that stem and the other berries to fill it in a little bit more. So first up, I'm going to take the smaller chunk off the second stem. I'm going to cut the stem a little shorter, and I'm going to bring that right down from in between these pine cones underneath the bow. So right now it looks kind of like there's a big chunk of greenery missing. And I'm just going to add this, just move that tail out of the way and push that up into the wreath. There we go. And that just helps fill in that little bit of a gap there. Tail that ribbon. Okay, now I'm ready to add this shorter blueberry. I'm going to chop this one all up and so I can evenly disperse them everywhere. So just go on and chop. Don't chop at the end of the berries. Chop on the brown stem. So give them as much as you can of the brown, and that way you have something easier to glue them to. So as you can see, I just pull that one down, chop it, and then chop the final one. So now all of them have a little bit of a stem that's easier to stick them in. And I'm just going to add these all over. I definitely see a gap up here. So I might even add 2 up in that spot. And just kind of step back and look at your wreath. See where you need to add some more. You've got 5 of those. So I'm going to go right here so it's near the bow. How pretty is that? I just love the 2-tone of blue. All right, I'm going to do one up here, kind of over here on this side of the wreath. And then when I step back, I kind of think I need the last one like in here, kind of coming out from the bow towards the bottom. Just going to tuck that in. And then when you do step back and look, just kind of move everything around. If something's hidden behind ribbon, move it to the front. Just adjust it all. But as you can see, that was so quick and easy to do. This kit is going to be available on shopdeeslouisville.com. You can grab everything you need to create this yourself. It's $45, super inexpensive for a winter wreath. If you need the base too, it's going to be $52. It's going to be on shopdeeslouisville.com. Check it out.